Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. Um, it's St. Patrick's Day, and I figured I'd put together a video with a cheeky little reference to luck, because, hey, I mean, it's the luck of the Irish, right? And what better day to talk about that? When it comes to trading, skill and homework and taking your time and doing research, obviously very, very important, right? I mean, you need to have a process. You need to have a reason to be. You need to have a reason to be in a trade. Um, but sometimes luck factors into it, right? I mean, sometimes it's an unexpected announcement or an unexpected move in your favor that you really, it was hard to anticipate. And yes, you were in the right spot at the right time, but also a little bit of luck plays into it, right? I mean, it's hard to dismiss it. Um, when it comes to the weekly contracts and the lottos, I know there's like a lot of people that focus on these weekly contracts as it gets closer to the to expiration on Friday because the premiums are so low, right? That's why we call them lottos. They're very low debit contracts. Um, but there's still certain scenarios where I feel like you put yourself in a better position to maybe get lucky, right? To maybe get a big move and really get a big return on those like super super low debit contracts. And for me, it's kind of like three scenarios. Okay. Um, so one, when the overall market is the volatility is higher, um, that's like a scenario where to me, like I would say, okay, there's been greater movement pretty much every single day for the last 2 months, 3 months. So when the volatility is higher, chance for a bigger move intraday or day to day, and those contracts that might seem like a very low debit super long shot, maybe there's a chance, right? If you get like a big move or you get like another big move, like maybe those super low debit contracts can make sense. So like when we're in a volatile environment, sometimes those weekly contracts, those like quote unquote lottos, sometimes they can, if it's like a good looking setup, maybe it's worth a shot, right? Because we are seeing significant moves pretty much every single day across the market. So when the overall volatility is higher, sometimes those lottos can make a little bit more sense, versus like a market that's like stagnant, not going anywhere, chopping around and trading sideways, right? Then I would say, okay, maybe that's not really a good idea. The other thing, is if there's maybe a possible expected catalyst, but just not on the stock itself, right? So in this case, FedEx, which is a peer to UPS, reports today, right? UPS doesn't. UPS options that expire on Friday, which are trading for a lot lower, pennies on the dollar in some cases versus FedEx. But realistically, these two stocks often trade together. So if FedEx has a big move, there's a chance that UPS goes along for the ride, right? So yes, UPS doesn't itself have news, but because FedEx is such a close peer in reports, it's likely to be in play. So these options, even though they expire tomorrow, they could potentially be something to look at because as a sympathy play, UPS seems like it should be moving around with FedEx, assuming like FedEx moves. The other thing, and I know a lot of people like to trade like the index ETFs, but like the Qs and the spiders. But sometimes when the indices have like good setups, sometimes you see like overall implied premiums kind of walk lower, as we get closer to the end of the week, right? And uh, I'd say like generally the indices like Q spiders trade with a skew that's more, that's higher on the put side, right? Because they're usually more in demand for put hedging, put protection, etc. But sometimes if you get a good bullish setup, options can be a little bit mispriced. And right now you can see, and this was something we were talking about earlier in the week, the Qs are sitting right above the top of like this multi-month downtrend. And if you do get a follow through, those very, very short-term options, yeah, there might be, there might be a lower probability of it working, but if you do end up getting a big move where options obviously might not be pricing that in on a 1 day time frame, like that's a scenario where you might put yourself in a better position to potentially capitalize on those quote unquote lottos, right? So I mean, not all setups are created equal, and ultimately that's what it comes down to, right? Like if you're looking at those like weekly contracts that expire in a day, where like the probability of it working out is pretty low. Well, if you can put yourself in a position where maybe that probability is a little bit higher than like the normal ones, well, that's something to think about, right? So, um, ideas, I wanted to throw it out there, just as we get into the end of the week, and it's been a busy week, a lot of headlines, a lot of movement. Maybe we're finishing up this week with the busy session, and maybe there's some opportunity for some of these weekly contracts. Okay, so let me know what you think. Um, but if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading these weekly contracts, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night, stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.